niche where they came in. And I know my colleague insists we have dinosaurs today, and that man, and well, that the Alley-Oop syndrome lives.
I'd like to get into that one. I'm going to get into that. Dinosaurs today.
I don't want to wipe out anybody who's eating Flintstone vitamins. They're good for you. Take them.
Dinosaurs, boy, there was some question about dinosaurs, so I'm trying to think how long ago dinosaurs, and I'd like for both of you to address how long do you believe, or do you have an idea how long you think man has been on the earth? I mean, we talk about beginnings, we talk about the beginning of Earth, but dinosaurs, maybe some comment about dinosaurs and just a general comment.
All right, I would say without question all life, all species of life have been here the same length of time, 6,000 or 7,000 years. Man, all animals created at the same time. About 95% of the animals that have lived are now extinct. We have seen a tremendous amount of extinction, and yet no new kinds of animals have ever come on the scene. We have new varieties, but that's just variation. That is not evolution. The only examples evolutionists will point to as evidence for evolution is examples of variation. Taking two dogs and developing a variety of dogs, and you can do that, there's no question, a variety of cows or corn, but you can crossbreed dogs for the next 20 million years and you will always get dogs. You will never get elephants or tomatoes or bananas. You will always get the same kind of animal.
I didn't say that only. I said
well, generally.
One of the ways in which we preserve large masses, yes.
There are trillions of fossils available to study, and yet no intermediate fossils from one kind to another. So it's not that to me, that's a perfect proof of a great catastrophe, the worldwide flood. The top 3,000 feet of Mount Everest, from 26,000 to 29,000, is all sedimentary rock containing millions of seashells and water-dwelling creatures. So the Earth definitely was...
There's another hour. Worldwide flood.
No question. The worldwide flood explains the fossils, why there are so many of them.
What's a cubit?
he's heard Bill Cosby too, hasn't he?
I know that one.
Yeah, right. Bill Cosby, straighten that one out.
So the creationist explanation of fossils is very simple. I agree they have to be preserved in the absence of oxygen, and a worldwide flood burying them in hundreds or thousands of feet of sediment would quickly cause the formation of fossils. Wood can petrify in good conditions in 30 to 50 years. There have been petrified pallets dug up in Tennessee, a church I just preached at. They had an old pallet shop where they had accidentally covered some 30 or 40 years ago, and when they just uncovered them here recently, they had petrified, turned to solid rock. Iowa farmers pulled up some fence posts that had been in the ground 50 years, and they had petrified from ground level down in 50 years. So the worldwide flood would have caused all the fossils. And it's not that there aren't enough fossils to study. There are trillions of fossils, but there aren't any intermediate fossils to study because they bring forth after their kind, exactly like the Bible says. There has been no evolution in the sense of changing from one kind of animal to another. Dinosaurs have always lived with man. Man is responsible for killing them off. That's where all the legends of the killing of the dragons come from. And a few species, like Apatosaurus, 30 foot long, are still in Africa right now. I've got a green book on the table. Dr. Roy Mackal, an avid evolutionist, has been over there twice. There have been 12 expeditions to the central Congo swamp in the last 12 years to try to photograph the Apatosauruses still living there. And that's where my research has been in cryptozoology. I have many pictures and eyewitness accounts of some of these few remaining dinosaurs that are still alive. And they're not like Komodo dragons. Of course, if we had not found the Komodo dragon alive and had only found the skeleton, it would be listed as a dinosaur. The fact that it's alive precludes it from being a dinosaur in the minds of many. But dinosaurs have been hunted to the point of extinction in most parts of the world, and most species are extinct, but a few still remain to this day.
That would be a fun trip for...
He's going back this year. Dr. Mackal is. Right.
Controversial about dinosaurs. We have, again, two things there I saw come up that I'm sorry. The flood, worldwide flood, and evidences for that we haven't even got into. Dinosaurs, but and all about are they today, are they not today, what were they, when were they, which I don't know how strong that is for or against position of evolution or creation. I think a common concern, and now you approached this yesterday on the radio, but I'd like to maybe conclude with, and I think this is really deals with the whole subject as far as I'm concerned. I mean, both of you stated that you're dealing with a faith rather than a fact. And why is it that only evolution is taught, in your estimation, in our school system? And maybe it's not that way, but seems to be. And think you stated, you think, if I can get the right words, was it you stated they're hiding it. It's kind of being kept out on purpose.
Creation is being kept out?
Politically expedient to teach evolution.
It's the currently accepted theory. Just like the flat Earth, you know, when everybody believed flat Earth, you didn't dare teach anything else, or geocentric theory.
We're
or anything.
dealing with theories, so the theory, what's your theory, why it's not being, why evolution is being taught as fact rather than theory?
Well, because the implications
Which
of...
I can document that.
Sure. Oh, I've got hundreds of the public school textbooks myself. I collect them, but the implications of creation are unacceptable to many. If this world was created, then there may be a creator that they have to be accountable to, and I'm convinced that's a strong underlying reason. The second thing, I think, is majority opinion. People are afraid to go against their colleagues' opinion, and they know they will be censored out or ridiculed. You don't dare go against the established scientific dogma. Just like Galileo was nearly executed for saying the moon had craters on it because the scientific establishment said no, the moon was smooth. And anytime you go against the politically correct attitude of the day, you are asking to be ostracized.
You're using the term political, if I can interrupt you. You're talking about
by
politically, not from
Democrat and
Bush,
Republican. No,
Clinton.
no.
You're talking about in the scientific community.
Right, in the scientific
Peer
community.
pressure, maybe.
Peer pressure.
Peer pressure.
It is scientifically acceptable to believe in evolution, and it is scientifically unacceptable. Of course, then you've got to get a definition of who is a scientist. In many, they will say, if you do not believe in evolution, you are not a scientist. Therefore, you are not qualified to make a judgment. I asked the doctor yesterday on the radio, or Sunday on the radio, what would happen if a geologist at this university began believing in a young Earth and creation. And he said he does not think such a creature exists. In other words, if you believe in creation, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but if you believe in creation and if you believe the Earth is young, you are no longer a qualified geologist.
What, just kind of expand on yesterday, you're talking about why.
Yeah, let me address the initial part there, though, about why evolution is taught and creation isn't. Remember, I pointed out early that science is not grinding an axe for any particular thing. It's just working at this basis on, and completely separate of any particular source. Now, the creationist view as put forth by creation science in this country stems entirely from Judeo-Christian literature, which in this country where we have a separation of church and state, you can't impose one particular sect's view on society, whereas there is no particular aspect of theology in the reporting of the converging evidence toward this is how the earth was formed and the evidence is for it. Now, the argument, all right, let me get the first numbers that you paused to write down. Read those back that he made mention of 94% of the people believe in such and such and do not believe. Now, suddenly this less than 10% of people who constitute this powerful lobby, we scientists who few people know, have imposed our biased view and thrown out facts. I think that what we're dealing with here is, I say, judge for yourself. Remember, as I say, think of what scientific investigation and the reality, the truth that it has brought, have generated in your